right, so Miss Marvel Episode 5 is available now on Disney Plus, and this is going to be a straight-up spoiler review. I've done non-spoiler reviews for singular episodes. Excuse me, hiccups, worst timing. I've done non-spoiler reviews for single episodes before, and they don't end up lasting long because basically all it is, hey, I can't really tell you anything, but I liked it or I didn't like it. So what's the point of making non-spoiler review for a single episode of a season? So next week when this show wraps up with episode 6, I will start off the video with a non-spoiler review of that episode as well as the season as a whole. And then I'll get into my spoiler review for the 6th episode and then also the season as a whole. So, yeah, just a little, what's the word I'm looking for? A little explanation, I guess. And, you know, a little context to next week's video as well as this one. But yeah, like I said, spoilers. So if you don't want to hear any spoilers for episode 5 of Miss Marvel, or really any of the episodes in general, then I suggest you click off now because we're going to be getting into it. But before anybody leaves, I do have to say this video is sponsored by Audible. And if you don't know what Audible is, where have you been living? Under a rock, apparently, because Audible is the best platform out there where you can listen to audiobooks, you can listen to podcasts. They got originals on there. They have guided meditation as well as sleep sounds. They have everything on there that you could ever really want when it comes to listening, which is what a lot of people do. People are driving, they're listening to things, and some people don't always want to listen to music. Me personally, I don't always want to listen to music. So I oftentimes put on a podcast, or, you know, occasionally I'll put on an audiobook, but it's mostly podcasts. I do use sleep sounds every single night. So Audible has it all, really. And right now, if you go to audibletrial.com/popculturepodcast, you can get yourself a 30-day free trial of Audible Premium Plus, where it'll give you 1 credit or 2 for Prime members because it's owned by Amazon. And basically those credits can be used towards any of their premium selections. So that mainly goes for their audiobooks, I believe. But lots of great audiobooks on there. If there's a book out there that you've been meaning to read, but you're not much of a reader, get it on there and listen to it. Because honestly, that's the way I do it. I don't listen to books as much as I should. I don't read books as much as I should. But if I were going to, it would be on Audible. But I mainly use them for their podcasts and originals. So, yeah, I mean, Audible is great. I'm sure a lot of people know about it already. I'm sure you've heard about it from other YouTubers, but if you support me, audibletrial.com/popculturepodcast, get yourself that 30-day free trial. It supports me, it supports the podcast, it supports the YouTube channel, and it'll also support yourself in the end. So go get yourself that 30-day free trial, and let's get into the spoiler review of Miss Marvel Episode 5. So, we start off the episode in British-occupied India in 1942, and we see Aisha. Basically, she's in this town or whatever, this really small village, and she meets a man named Hassan. And basically, they end up meeting each other, falling in love, and having a child. I believe the child's name is Sana, and that should be the great-great-grandmother of Kamala. Pretty sure. No, the great-great-grand. No, it's literally what I just said. The great-grandmother, right? I'm pretty sure it's her great-grandmother. I could be really wrong right now. Maybe it's just her grandmother that is the child of Aisha, but I think I might be wrong. Who knows? I mean, plenty of people probably know, but I'm just kind of an idiot sometimes when it comes to following certain relationships and stuff like that. Like in the Stranger Things review, I won't spoil anything here, but I kept mixing up somebody's uncle and dad. I'm like, I have no clue which one it is. It's either his uncle or his dad. I later learned it was his uncle. But yeah, Aisha and Hassan, they have a kid together named Sana. And yeah, Najma ends up showing up and is like, hey, I want to go home. And you can see that Aisha is like, nah, I don't really want to do that because, you know, she has a husband and a kid. But Also, you know, part of it might be because she sees Najma and she's like, "Nah, you're on a dark path. You're a dark person, and I don't fuck with that." But, yeah. Let me see here. Najma ended up killing Aisha, which I kind of saw coming in a way because I was listening to the New Rockstars podcast, and I think they said something about that, and I was like, "Yeah, I could see that happening," and it did. Uh, Yeah, there's some moments that did make me emotional, like the moments between Aisha and Kamala, and towards the beginning in the flashbacks, and then just seeing the family get separated there, that was really hard for me. But yeah, what really made me emotional were the things that went on later in the episode, and I'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, Kamala ends up being the one who led Sana back to her father. You know, the trail of stars that she followed, and part of me is like, is Kamala just in the shoes of some magical force, or is this her actually back in time doing this? I think it actually might be her in the past when all this is going on, her actually doing that somehow. And you know, in a way, it's kind of like an Interstellar thing. Something similar happened in that movie, um, where basically like there's something that happened in the past that was that was what's the word I'm looking for right now? I can't speak apparently. That was not controlled, but somebody did something in the future that affected something in the past. I'll just explain it to you basically. You know, there's like a bookshelf or whatever, and the books kept falling off and stuff like that. And we find out later that Matthew McConaughey, he was the one pushing the books off, like in the future time or whatever. Yeah, you see what I mean. Some really trippy shit there, but yeah, kind of cool there. I can't lie. And then Kamala comes back into the real world, and the gate is opened. One of the members of the clandestines tries to go in, ends up getting disintegrated, and you know, Kamala tries to get through to Najma, being like, "You have a son and stuff like that. You gotta think about him, and you know, don't do what you did to Aisha, you know, separating her from her family." And Najma comes through. She ends up, it almost seems like she possesses Cameron, but I think it's just her power going into him. And basically, he becomes, I forget exactly what the name of his comic book character is, but he basically becomes that character. He has superpowers now. Um, so that's pretty cool. I didn't expect that to happen so soon, honestly. I was expecting like maybe in a future, you know, season or in the Marvels, we would see something like that. But it makes sense why they would do it now, just because like I don't know if this is gonna get another season, and they gotta introduce that when they can. But yeah, Cameron has powers now. Very cool. Also, don't know for sure if Najma possessed him or just gave her powers to him, but either way, pretty sick. And I'm so excited for the next episode, to be honest. Kamala's mom now knows that Kamala has powers, and I was expecting her to freak out, but she was actually like happy and proud of her. Like and oh my god, I had to rewatch that scene like 50 times because it made me so emotional. It got to me because if you remember in my episode 1 review, you'll know that I was really kind of trashing her mom because of just how mean she was, how disrespectful and untrustful she was towards her, and really did make me mad. But just seeing her each episode just makes me love her more and more. And so to see her where she was in episode 1 all the way to now, it just makes it even more better. And I'm just like, oh, so good, so freaking good, dude. Oh, I loved it. Great moments between Kamala and her mom and the grandma in here. I loved it. Well, all of it. Honestly, it was so great. That honestly, when it comes down to it, those are the parts of the show that I love the most. Just the human moments with them, and just seeing the family bond and them have heartwarming moments. I love it. But yeah, Cameron ends up going to Bruno and is like, "Hey, I didn't know who else to turn to." Um, you know, they're in his apartment or whatever. Yeah, in his apartment. And then we see the drone, the damage control drone, which I'm pretty sure is the Stark drone that Mysterio used in Far From Home. Um, but yeah, you see the drone coming in, and then Cameron attacks it, and that's basically where the episode ends. But yeah, pretty great episode. After the last episode, I was just like, I don't know. I wasn't very excited to get into this one. I don't know if I said it at the beginning or not, but I was debating on not even watching it this week and waiting to watch this episode with the last one next week and review them both. But I'm really happy I did watch it because it got me in the feels for sure. Like, it's exactly what I want from this show. And in the last episode has nothing to do with the culture and you know, the people or anything like that. It just had to do with, like, I don't know. I just didn't care for it too much. Part of it is the villains, the clandestines. I just don't care for them that much. Funny enough, in this episode, it feels like they could have almost wrapped up the show here, but there's still a lot they can do and a lot they should do. And to have this, you know, these villains be taken care of so quickly and so easily, honestly, it feels kind of cheap, but maybe we'll see those villains come back, possibly. I mean, there's got to be a big fight at the end. It can't just be, oh, here's some random street level villain they have to go fight. It could be, and I wouldn't hate it, but I don't know, the clandestines seemed like they were just dealt with a little too easily, to be honest. And I don't know, the whole gate opening up and attacking them didn't really make a whole lot of sense to me, but I was like, oh well, it's magic. Yeah, so pretty good episode overall. Definitely not my favorite. I don't know. There's a lot of episodes that I enjoy in here. I mean, the first 3 episodes of the show I think are nearly perfect to me. It's just that 4th episode where it started to fall off and make me a little worried for the way that the show would wrap up. To be honest, the thing they set up in the last episode with her being in the past, I felt like that was dealt with a little too quickly, but at the same time, by the time I looked at the TV, or I looked at the time left in the episode, it was about halfway through, so I'm like, that makes sense. I expected her to be in the past the entire episode, and that's part of why I wasn't too excited, because I was just like, I don't know if I necessarily want to see 45 minutes of this. I'd rather see her, you know, in real time doing stuff in the, not real world, but you know, in modern time, I guess. But overall, pretty great episode, I would say. I don't know where I'd rank all these episodes. Maybe I'll do a ranking for all the episodes at the end when we get to the final one, but probably not, to be honest. I don't even know why I said it if I'm not going to do it. But yeah, that's really all I have to say about episode 5 of Ms. Marvel. Have you guys seen it? Well, I hope so, because this was a spoiler review. So for those of you who want to talk about how you felt about it, talk about how you felt about, you know, the season leading up to this episode, how you feel so far, comment down below. Let me know what you think of this series so far, and what you think of this episode in particular. Any theories for the next episode, I'd love to hear them. Personally, I don't quite have a whole lot of theories for the next episode. I feel like I'm just along for the ride, you know. Maybe not my favorite Marvel show so far in terms of like the Disney Plus shows, but it's at least at second place right now. I still really like it, and Aman Vellani, as always, is freaking amazing in this role. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys. Like I said, comment down below, tell me what you thought, and leave a like, subscribe, push the notifications bell so you never miss an upload, and also audibletrial.com/popculturepodcast. Get yourself that 30-day free trial. And what will the next video be? Oh yeah, my Thor review. Most likely I will be doing an initial reaction review, so that will be, you know, no spoilers for Thor Love and Thunder. After that should be my Thor Love and Thunder non-spoiler review, and then the Thor Love and Thunder spoiler review. So lots of Thor content coming out in the next couple of days. I'm going to see it twice, technically today. So yeah, very excited for it. I mean, I can't wait. And for those Marvel fans out there watching the channel right now, you're going to get even more Marvel content. So I hope you enjoy, and I will see you in the next one.